Hey guys, how's it going? Today I'm going to go over my new guitar setup. This is my new guitar setup. You can see two Vox amps and a strange looking guitar made from an oil can. And this is my new setup. It's a more affordable setup. I used to have a Fender parts caster that I made myself into a hand-wired tube amp, the Milkman 1 watt plus. But I'm going to introduce to you my new setup now. Okay, so this is the Bohemian TNT. I did a video a few years back. This is basically my setup when I was in Korea. Is I had this Vox Mini5, which I did a review on already before I went to Korea, and I had another kind of oil can guitar called the Boho Moonshine, which is basically this oil can type of guitar except with 3 single coil pickups instead. So this guitar is basically very similar. It's made by a company called Bohemian Guitars, which makes these oil can shaped guitars for a very cheap price. You can buy them for about $250, which is pretty cheap, and it included the carrying case as well, which is a hard shell case, believe it or not, so it's a pretty good value. And these pickups were originally P90 pickups, and I actually switched them out for these are Lollar gold foil pickups. So these are not the stock pickups that came with this guitar. So these pickups cost me like an extra $400, but I think it's worth it because it really boosts the guitar sound a lot and really makes this into a really nice sounding guitar actually. So yeah, otherwise it's the same. It's a nice unique guitar, maple fretboard, oil can body. You can switch, this is the Les Paul type switcher right there. Tone and volume knobs down there. I just changed out the pickups, that was it. Originally came with 2 P90 pickups, but I wanted to have more smoother type of open tones, so I switched to these gold foil pickups. Also, they look really cool, and not a lot of guitars have these gold foil kind of pickups. They sound very well. They're single coils, right? So they actually sound quite close to the Dynasonic pickups I had on my Gresh White Penguin before. So yeah, these are really nice sounding pickups, and I'm going to demo this guitar, play it through these 2 amps for you to listen to. This is a Vox Mini5. I've already done a review on this amp. This is a busking guitar amp. It's a really nice for that kind of job. I mean, it's battery powered, so you can just go out there, plug in a mic, and has its own guitar tuner, has a drum machine built in. You can put an aux, you can set the wattage all the way up to 0.1 watts, 1.5 or 5 watts. Solid state, of course, but it has modeling and stuff built in. So it's a pretty nice busking amp, and this thing is $200, brand new, I believe. This one is a new guitar amp that I bought, also from Vox, called the MV50. And what's special about this one is not only the cheap price. This cost $250. The cabinet costs $100. Actually, I got this for $200 from eBay. So $200. The cabinet costs $100, altogether about $300, and sounds very close to an actual tube amp. So this one I think is a really good value, and it uses a special technology called a new tube, a Korg new tube, which is a special kind of, it's not the same as a vacuum tube, but it's it's sort of a vacuum tube replacement, I guess, and it really reacts very similarly to a vacuum tube and has that nice tube sag and compression and everything, but it's a lot cheaper. It's a lot lighter. This thing only weighs like a little bit over 1 pound, very light. It's more, not as fragile as vacuum tubes are, so it doesn't take up as much space. So a lot of good benefits to the new tube, much more affordable as well. And you can see the design of this. I got the boutique one. There's also different kinds. You can get the clean, the high gain, the Vox AC30 version, I believe, clean version, so there's a bunch of different versions you can get, crunch, I think. But yeah, this one's the boutique version, which is inspired by the Dumble amplifiers, which are really expensive, hard to find amplifiers that's used by pro guitarists like Larry Carlton, Robin Ford, Joe Bonamassa. Like, they use Dumble amps, and I think John Mayer used them at one point as well. Steve Ray Vaughan used them. So these are based on the Dumble tone essentially. It's one input, gain, tone, and volume, a VU meter, which is just for looking cool and retro, I guess. The cabinet is a BC108, which is specially designed to work with this amplifier. So this is a mini head, you know, it looks like a head amplifier. It's a mini head. I'll show you the back as well. So you got DC input, speaker output. You can actually adjust the impedance depending on what type of speaker cabinet you're using. So I'm using an 8 ohm cabinet right now. So I set it to 8, but you can also do 4, 16 ohm. EQ, deep or flat. I'm using a small cabinet, so I switched it to deep. If you have a bigger cabinet, you can switch it to flat. Headphone out. Eco is basically the ability for the amp to turn off by itself if you're not using it. Just nice power saving ability. And then there's the on switch. So it doesn't have as many features as the Vox Mini5, but it certainly sounds a lot better. Very, very close to a tube amp. So I'm gonna do a little bit of a demo between the two using my Boho TNT guitar and see what you guys think. Yeah, so you got the $200 Vox Mini5 with all the bells and whistles right here, but it is a solid state amp, and you know, it's battery powered, so it doesn't have quite the tonal capabilities of this little head plus cabinet combination here. And costs are very similar. It's $200, $300 for these two put together. So I thought it would make a good comparison test. Of course, this is not battery powered, doesn't have a rhythm circuit with drum machine, doesn't have all the extra mic in or aux in or those kind of things, but sounds a lot better, very, very close to a tube amp. And then I have some pedals here I'm going to be using as well. I have a Dunlop EP101 Echoplex preamp. This is a tone conditioner, so I always leave it on. The Wampler Tumnus is a really nice pedal. I don't use it for overdrive, even though it's an overdrive pedal, but this is pretty much an always on pedal as well. I just use it as a booster as well. So I have a tone conditioner right here, and then I have another booster just to boost the cleans a little bit more and add the treble, because the gold foil pickups by themselves are kind of very mellow sounding. So I want to boost the treble a little bit more, so I use the Tumnus for that. It's pretty much always on. Then I have the Wazacraft delay. So I don't have my reverb pedal right now, so I'm using the delay kind of as a substitute. Boss RC3 for the looper, and I'm going to be using the Maxon OD9 Plus for the blues little number I'm going to do. This is the standard tube screamer overdrive, and everyone knows what that sounds like. It's nice mid-range boost, and get that nice tube screamer kind of drive and distortion there. So yeah, I'm going to be using that for that number. So that's the pedals I'll be using. So yeah, Vox MV50, Vox Mini5, I believe, and the Boho TNT with the gold foil, Lollar gold foil pickups. I'm going to be testing all of these, and that's it. Alright, first up is the Vox Mini5. I have it on the boutique clean setting, which only makes sense because this is the boutique version of the Vox MV50, so we're comparing the boutique version against the boutique modeling, I guess, setting of Mini5, which is supposed to emulate a Dumble as well. So you can see by itself the gold foils sound a little bit dark, a little bit muddy. So I usually use the EP101 Echoplex preamp as a tone conditioner to clean up the clarity a bit. So that's a little bit better. Okay, now if I really want the brightness and the highs, I'm going to turn on my Wampler Tumnus, which is going to add my highs back in. So now this is going to sound a lot better, right? So now you have all the highs and stuff back in. That's why I always leave these two pedals on, the EP101 preamp and the Wampler Tumnus as tone conditioners, basically for this particular guitar with these particular pickups. Yeah, I lose some of the highs if I don't add them in. Well, I should say that it just sounds better with them on, so that's why I always leave them on. So these pickups are really nice. I like them. The GoFo pickups along with the Mini 5. I think it sounds pretty good for pretty decent for a $200 battery powered solid state amp, right? Not bad. Yeah, definitely the Vox Mini5 for a $200 battery powered solid state amp. It's not bad, not bad at all. And now let's go to the Vox MV50 Boutique. And this one is going to sound a lot louder. So I'm going to have to turn down the volume a bit on this one because it is, it's very, very close to a tube amp. This has an 8-inch speaker, but the same size as my old Swart Atomic Junior, which was a hand wire tube amp. So this at $300 total and costing about a fraction of the price as a as a boutique tube amp, I think this is a very good value. Sounds like 80% as good as my Swart Atomic Junior did, and I'm not exaggerating at all. That's just listen for yourself, really. This thing outputs 50 watts, believe it or not. It can get very loud, so I have to turn on the volume. So you can see the difference in the tone between the Mini 5, the MV50, even though this is just $100 more for the package. A lot more dynamic compression. It's got that, it's got the really touch responsive tone of a tube amp. It doesn't have the built-in reverb or the compression or echo or something of this one. That's why you're not hearing any of that. Of course, I can put the delay on and then it'll be effectively similar to those built-in effects. So now you can hear a difference. can tell the MV50 a lot more dynamic, touch responsive. It sounds louder, just like a tube amp would at the same wattage, and it's got that typical tube sag and compression. So if I turn up the gain, it's really loud. And I don't want to be too loud because I got roommates in this building, but it can get very, very loud. So yeah, this is the Vox MV50. I'm very impressed with it. For just $300 for these two, the cabinet and the head, very, very good deal. And yeah, and this is with the tumness off, just the Echoplex now and the delay. I'm gonna do a few more tunes, basically, show you guys the power of this amp. So I'm gonna focus mainly on the MV50 because I already did a review on the Mini5 back in 2014. You guys already seen that demo. So I'm just gonna focus on this amp and play that for you. So I hope you enjoy it. So the first loop I'll be doing is one that I call Spring Melody. And it's one that I made up a few years ago. I really like it, and I usually jam on it for the cleaner, jazzy tone. And I'll be having my Dunlop Echoplex preamp, my one-plug tumness, and my Boss Waza delay on for this song. So this, you guys enjoy it. gain, and I don't want to wake my roommates up, so that's why. Yeah, this should be a good overdrive. Gives you a good idea of the Lollar foil pickups and how it sounds with a little bit more gain. some of the capabilities of the Vox MV50. It's a really nice amplifier. So Lollar gold foils, you got a taste of what these sound like with both clean tones and a little bit more gain into a Vox MV50 boutique. And hope you guys enjoyed that little demo. And that's it. Thanks for watching, guys.